suspected to be selling expired food has been discovered in Durban. A short while ago, the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, visited a warehouse on corner South Coast and Bluff Roads, which was suspected to be selling expired food, allegedly imported from other countries. SABC News reporter Jade Polser joins us live now with the very latest. Good afternoon, Jade. You spoke to Premier Mduli a bit earlier on, and quite shocking visuals that we saw there, from antibiotics to unknown alcohol brands. Just talk to us about where you were at the first warehouse.
Well, at the first warehouse, we saw some illicit goods, like you said, antibiotics, as well as beans that were imported from other parts of SADC. But I can also just tell you that we've also found milk at the second warehouse. We've just moved to another warehouse just down the road from where we were, and this is where we've found some counterfeit goods, including clothing items that have been found at this particular warehouse. As you can see, some of the big brand names there that are often sold on the streets of South Africa, and the police have really clamped down on this. Just to speak to us more about the second warehouse and what we found here, I'm just going to bring in again the PC and Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, Police Commissioner. PC, we've obviously come from the first warehouse where we saw some expired goods. This warehouse has more counterfeit goods.
Yeah, well, it's a mix of both in this warehouse. We've got expired food as well here, food that not approved to be in the country, as well as counterfeit goods. And in this warehouse, in this yard, there's quite a lot of things, because here is a mix in this place where we are at, but just next door is counterfeit goods, 2 containers full, and on the other side also counterfeit goods, 2 containers full.
This is a relatively smaller warehouse than the one that we were at.
Yeah.
But do we know where these goods have come from?
Yeah, well, it's part of the investigation. Obviously, on the paperwork, we can tell already that so and so imported this thing into the country, so, and coming from this particular country. So at least that we have an idea. But what we then have to investigate further, we need brand owners to also give a statement to certify some of these goods that yes, indeed, it's not theirs, they're not genuine. So that it becomes part of the case docket.
And I imagine through the investigation we'll also track down some of the trucks that are used to, move the goods to various spaza shops as well as clothing shops across the metro and around the country.
Yeah, of course. We need to know the person who brings it in, where do they send it to, who do they sell it to, and the eventual final destination. We have to get that value chain of all of it, so that when we deal with it in court, it becomes a big case. It's not the only items we've been finding, especially on the counterfeits. It's common. It's common that we find these things. There are quite a lot of them that we always discover. It's just been unusual for us to find such quantity of food. That's why maybe it's because of the forecast that we've had now on food. That's why we're able to see so much of it.
And I think what has been really disturbing is even finding milk in this warehouse.
Yeah, well, it's milk. I mean, if this thing is still standing here and it expires in February, beside the fact that you don't know whether it's healthy to consume that, but someone is going to consume that, and by the time it lands at the place where it's going to be sold, it's going to be long past February, but the people are going to buy it, and it's just a matter of just removing the date and stamp another date on it.
Okay, thank you very much, PC. I just want to show the viewers back at home that milk that we speak of right over here, and this is apparently expired. From what the PC and the Premier says, they've had their health inspectors here and they have looked at some of the goods. They've spotted them just behind the camera. You can also walk with me after he's shown you this particular batch of milk, and just walk with me and show you some of the other goods that we found here. Like the Premier said, we've also found antibiotics in this particular warehouse as well, various creams, sweets, chips, a popular one that we've all been debating, pesticide, that has been a contentious issue in many spaza shops that's been come up, but various other things like beans that have been coming into the country in bulk. And when I spoke to the Premier earlier on, he says often this is to try and be sold at a lower cost. So the investigation now is to try and track down where these products are being imported from. As you heard the PC saying there, it is a continuous investigation. They are going to try and find out where exactly these goods are coming from, and also where exactly it is going to. Like he said there, he's going to be investigating who exactly are the owners of these warehouses, what trucking companies are being utilized. So this is an ongoing investigation, and I'm sure they will be furnishing us with those details once they have done a thorough investigation into these two warehouses in Bluff here in Durban that has been housing not only illicit goods but expired